So what's up, everybody? Hey, this is Paulin or Rat Capo, whatever the fuck you wanna call me, from Mania Beats, and we're gonna be doing another cookout video. I know we haven't been doing this for a while, but there's always time for another thing. So just give me a second. I'm gonna put in the display capture. Here we go. Oh shit. Just a moment. I'm gonna resize this. Actually, no. So, here we go. I know you're not supposed to do that because that just kills the magic of the whole illusion. Anyways, I'm not a very organized person, so that's how we do it. Okay, let's get started. We already opened up Mixcraft, and for those of you who always say I don't use Fruity Loop, I actually have a copy of Fruity Loop installed. It's an authentic copy, and I use it. Even I have live. I've been using it for a while too, but I still prefer Mixcraft. It's way better. It's way easier. But I can see why some people feel more comfortable using it than any other digital workstation or digital audio workstation. So the keyboard. The first thing first, you need to understand. You need to, sorry about that for the noise. You need to understand that for everybody, they're gonna have their way of working, and some people like to start with the melody, some people like to start with the drums. Me, I can find my way between both because I'm classically trained. I'm classically trained as a musician, so I can start with the melody and then add the drums later, or I can start with the fucking drums, or maybe an 808 and then work from that, or maybe start from a sample. But either way, by doing more, by cooking up more and more beats, making music more and more, you find whatever is natural for you, and at some point you get to master the two of them. So at this point, I'm just gonna start with with the drums. So I already have my drum kit. This one is called Talk. No reason really. It's just I named it whatever came to my mind first. So I named it Talk. And I'm gonna show you what I have in here. So yeah, it's mostly samples from Rich the Kid. It's a Rich the Kid sample. Rich the Kid sample pack, I think, and it's called Trap Talk, and I think it's free. I don't remember, and so it's called Trap Talk. You can search that online. You can find it. If it's free, you can get it too. So normal stuff. So what we're gonna do, I'm gonna lay out a drum pattern, and then we're gonna work from there. Starting. So to loop this, I just click on loop, get my 4-beat loop, and I'm gonna start messing around. I like to start with the snare or the clap. So the BPM I'm gonna put in 161. I like the BPM, especially for the modern stuff, the modern new rap wave stuff. Let me just check if the audio is coming through, the audio from the desktop. Yeah, how do you check that? Sorry about that. I'm just gonna play something, and because if it's not working, so it's working. Sorry about that. I'm a very unprofessional motherfucker. Anyways, getting back, so let's lay down some foundation first. So the clap, the normal clap, this is everywhere. We're gonna quantize that to the 8th note. It's gonna work great every time. I put this down because I don't wanna take too much space on the screen. Duplicate that. I'm gonna use a snare. So that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna do the same thing. Select all, Control A, and quantize. Just lower the music a little bit so you can still hear my voice. So now we're gonna go to the usually the perch or the hi-hat. For this one, Control A, we're gonna quantize, but we're gonna put in the 16th note. By the way, if anybody knows how to do this in FL Studio, please tell me in the comment section. Because in FL Studio, I don't know how to quantize. It's the basic stuff, but fuck it, man. I don't know how to do it. Anybody tell me? And by the way, I have new music out for you. Nice bounce. So the project I just put out is called Sync. It's on pretty much every streaming service. I think even on YouTube. I don't put it on YouTube myself, so I don't know exactly. But it's pretty dope. Lots of songs. It has like 19 tracks, but it's really don't get it fucked up. It's not like throwaway music, since it's just too many music, but it has something for everyone. That's what I would say, and it's it's very much diverse and it's more modern in a sense, but it's it goes forward. It doesn't just it's not stale. Just in like the style of rap music that's going on right now, especially in the US or and pretty much everywhere. You know, like the trap stuff, but it goes beyond that. So if you're interested, check it out. It's called Sync by Rat Capol. I think I'm gonna post some videos on here. I'm gonna try to make a music video and see if I can put it on here on Mania Beat. See how the bounce comes naturally if you know what you're doing. Just you exploit the time, the space between each beat to add a part, add a little something, just to keep the thing interesting. Because you know, like rap fans are very, very. I'm not gonna diss them, but nowadays it's more shallow. It's all about the beat. So if the beat is not nice, you can put anybody on there. If the beat is not nice, nobody's gonna be listening. So you gotta adapt. So now for the kick, usually the kick I leave it for last. So now I'm gonna save. I'm gonna end up using it. I'm working on. By the way, I'm working on a project. I don't know if it's gonna be an EP or whatever. This is what it is. If that's the project name as of now, I'm just gonna call it like Kane, like Big Daddy Kane. By the way, I was listening to that nigga music for a while during the summer. Big Daddy Kane. I think I listening to his two first album. That shit fire, bro. Okay, now for the melody, I have Omnisphere flexing. Let's use that. Actually no, I have there's something I downloaded yesterday and it's called the free VST somebody recommended me. Let's see. I'm gonna try to find it. By the way, in Mixcraft, the thing with the stars, that's a very good thing because when you make presets, you can just add them as your favorite. So put a star in it, and when you need to see them very quickly, it's a question of finding something very quick. So you just go to favorite, and you can find everything that's in your favorite. So let me find that real quick. Fuck. I hope I found it. Yeah, let's go. Where is it? Fuck. Oh, fuck. My dumbass was looking at I'm supposed to be in VST instruments. So yeah, Firebird. So I'm gonna favorite it. So now to find it very easy, I can just go into favorites. So it's a little synth. It's the first time I'm gonna be using it. Well. right on the 16th. Now you see, you gotta go in there and then fix it. Sometimes you need to fix it manually. Of course, I'm not just gonna leave it like this. I'm gonna mix it to new audio. If you're in Logic, it's bounce. It's called bounce to MP3. And what I'm gonna do next? So let's pitch it down like -5. Gonna speed it up. Just control and then you drag the half point, so now it's sped up. I'm gonna mix it to new clip by Control W. Now I'm gonna add some gross beat. Yes, you can get gross beat separately from the usual, but from the usual FL Studio installation, so you can get it from ImageLine on their website. It's too fast. I'm gonna try to slow it down. Slow it down manually. So control and we drag. to the double of that, so it's and I have this preset I called juicy. So what it is just some chorus effect. This is the name of the plugin. It's called chorus ch2, and there's some reverb from TB. I think it's what's the name of the company? Tone boosters. That's that. I like this sound of it. That's a finish actually. Nowadays I'm just using it for almost all my beats. In this case, I don't exactly know what the key is because I changed. I pitched it down a lot and then pitched it up. a bunch of semitones. So I don't know. So I go by ear. So I don't know what it is the key, but it should be D, D minor or D major. It's usually D minor because the trap stuff is always in the minor key for some reason. I think it's Metro Boomin who did it, who caused this trend of everything being in minor. But anyways, so pretty much now the beat is kind of done. What would be left to do would be the mixing everything, adjusting the levels and everything, and then go on the master channel. Usually what I do, I add on a limiter. This is my limiter of choice. That's everything I do. This limiter 6. This is the only thing I usually add on the master bass. Even for a full song, usually I used to put on a bunch of things. I have like a bunch of plugins I used to use, but nowadays I just use this one for the sake of simplicity. It has a limiter, it has a compressor, and this is a protection. It's kind of a compressor too, and it has a ceiling. So I use that, and the presets on here, they're already good. What I do, I usually do the mixing. I want to show you how to do that in a second. This is an easiest way I found of mixing a song very quickly. So before doing that, I'm gonna add in a kick just before we do that. So, and I have this preset right here. I called it bro kick, and what it is this. Check this out. Fuck, don't tell me it's gonna crash. Okay, so I have this a plugin called clip shifter, and what it's doing, it's basically a shaper. It's an audio shaper, a clip shaper. Is that how you call it? It's a wave shaper. So what it does, it just modifies the waves. You know, audio is a wave, so it modifies it, either amplify it or change the pitch. Or in this one, what it does, it makes it clip. So if you need the distortion without necessarily adding the fuzz, just the distortion coming directly from the audio clip, so use a shaper, and this one does that very well, especially if you want it to be subtle. I have the other one, Cyanide, which is also free, and this one is also free. It's called Clip Shifter, and it basically does that, but it's more subtle, and you can use it abrasively, like more in a more noticeable way. But for the subtle things, it's very good. It's better than Cyanide, in my opinion. And I use this preset called kick because I'm very lazy to be creating presets, and I sidechain it. I'm setting the sidechain signal on 1, and that way if I ever want to receive on, like, say, the melody, I can receive on the melody using the same sidechain compressor, or even on the 808 if I don't want the kick and the 808 to have overlapping frequencies, which is gonna create some very muddy effect. So you can make it that when the kick hits, the 808 is gonna cut off, or maybe when the 808, yeah, you get what I'm trying to say. So you can privilege the kick over the 808 to make the kick more prominent. So I just leave it there. I don't know why I did it, because I'm not intending on using it on that one. So this is with, this is without. So it's very weak, but the clip shifter it makes it more grittier, and that's what we want. We want the drums, the kick, especially to kick hard. But when you're using this Spins 808, you don't even really need the kick, for real though. mixing, I know y'all been waiting for this. This is how I do it. You get a sample of pink noise. I have mine over there. So now I don't need to loop it, but usually when you're working with a bigger song, you just loop it over and over again, so you have it everywhere. And what you're gonna do, you're gonna solo it. Make sure you leave it at 0 dB, and you're gonna solo it, and you're gonna solo another track you want to mix. Basically, you go track by track by track, and fix that shit. And when you have like many tracks in the melody, if you have like a melody sub mix where you have like 3-5 tracks, you're gonna take the whole thing and you're gonna mix it as if it was one. So you're gonna solo it and solo the pink noise. And what you do, you're gonna solo it, and then you're gonna lower the volume of the track, and then you're gonna bring it up. And when you start to hear it, it's better to start with the kicks, since when you're making a trap beat, you want the kick to be the thing that's hitting the hardest in the entire beat, or maybe the 808. Whichever one you want to prioritize, start with that, and you're gonna set a level. You're gonna adjust until like you hear it, and then you can continue to increase to a certain point you want. So it's gonna be like by preference, and then you're gonna adjust for the next one. But you're gonna keep in mind that the kick is supposed to be louder than, say, a snare or the melody. So you can adjust accordingly. You're gonna use the first one you set as a guide for how the others are supposed to sound. So I take off all the volume, then I'm gonna increase it, and I have to keep listening to see when I start to hearing it again. See, like over there, I'm hearing it in my headphones, so I'm gonna start to increase past that for the preference point where I like it. So for me, that's it. And the perks, what you're gonna do, you're gonna, instead of taking out all the volume, putting on 0 dB or minus 22 minus infinity dB, instead of doing that, you're gonna push it to the max, or maybe somewhere where it's very audible, since like the frequencies of the perks, especially like the hi-hats, they're gonna overlap with the pink noise, so hear it when the volume is low. And again, you're gonna adjust in relative to how you adjusted everything before that. This is why I like this method, so everything is more coherent. So now we go to the what I do for the 808, I just leave it as it is. I don't change it. Leave it at 0 dB basically. And I'm gonna fix it in the master, because I want to see where it's gonna be clipping. I'm gonna choose like a master 5. This is my favorite by far. Choose that. So I can see it's clipping, and I know exactly what's causing it. It's gotta be the last track, the 808. So I'm gonna push it down a bit. I lowered the gain on the compressor, so, and I lowered, so it's kind of like a compromise, basically. What I do to test on my audio interface, I push the volume all up, like all up. I max out on my output on the audio interface, and I listen if it's clipping, and this one is not clipping. And by that, what I'm trying to say is, if I were like to push, like imagine you're on a big stage, there's like the biggest amplifiers, the biggest speakers. Of course, there's gonna be the sound is gonna be more amplified, so you have more possibilities of more probability of having the sound clip. Your mix is gonna clip. It's gonna start to distort. So what you do that's why you have to test, and when you see it's clipping, you're gonna dial it down, like push it down a bit. For this particular case, it's high. You might be like, this is too basic. So what I can do right now, just put on the piano or something, just to spice it up. Spice it up. tip. I know I'm doing this video kind of a very piece by piece way of doing the video, but anyways, you're gonna be learning something. But the thing I wanted to say is something I learned very late in this beat making shit is the kick. Never start with the kick, always end with the kick, because the kick is so important. Everything that's so important, try to finish with it, because you might start with a good sample if you're using a sample or maybe a melody, change it, do whatever with a gross beat or whatever thing you're doing to it, with the chorus and the delays and things and reverb, and but understand that when you're processing that sample, now even if it's an original melody you created, now it becomes a sample. So after that you have to add in another melody of your own, so you're like producing double time. So you're making a sample first. So the first part we did when I created all these, I didn't even end up using. Usually when I'm making them, I make like 5 of those, and then I'm gonna save like 2 or 3 separately in a folder of in my sample folder, and I'm gonna take like 1 or another 2. I'm gonna use them on this beat, and then when I need them, when I get like a creative block, what I do is I open up that sample library kind of I created, and then I'm gonna work from there, and that really helps, especially if you keep having some creative block type of thing going on. That's gonna help you very much. So what we gonna do? So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna get this, and here's a trick. So the first part is gonna be playing normally, the way you would play. Second part, we're gonna reverse. It's not working. Let's try this. that's it basically. You've learned how to create a sample it, create a drum pattern without the drum, without the kick drum. Create an 808 pattern by using the first note of the key and then using the note, make the 808 note, the others correspond with the same note in the sample or the melody. That's third thing you've learned. Fourth thing you've learned, don't even remember. Yes, you made the drum pattern, so now you're gonna mix that shit up. And by the way, I can always go back and mix this, but since like the levels, I made sure the levels, everything becomes adjusted. Once you've adjusted everything, the new things you're gonna add, they're not gonna feel in place if you don't like adjust them the way it's supposed to be. So by adjusting them, you're already mixing. You see like the piano track, I already adjusted it so it's kind of matching the others, and it's like sounds nice. It doesn't sound like too hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to subscribe, like, share, follow me on Instagram. It's at Radcapol. Follow me on Spotify, and yeah, I've got the album for you. It's called Sync. Just go on Spotify, you're gonna find me, bro. It's called Sync by Radcapol. Radcapol, say RAT space KAPAUL. It's a fucking weird name, but hey, a lot of people think I'm Indian, but I'm black, bro. And a lot of people think I'm Jamaican by the way I look, but I'm Rwandan, bro. I came from Rwanda. Anyways, don't forget to do that. Check out Sync, Radcapol on Instagram, Radcapol Sync on Spotify or whatever, Apple Music, everywhere. Basically, Tyra. Check that out. Bro, you know what's funny? I made like 20, 27, 25, I think it's 27 cents on Spotify, so y'all can keep supporting me. Maybe I will make more, and I'm trying to blow up, bro. I'm trying to blow up. I'm working on it. I got an EP, like I said. I can actually, next video I'm gonna do, I think I'm gonna let you hear the beats. I haven't yet started. I've actually started writing on a couple of songs, but I haven't really rapped. I'm working on them. And EP is gonna be, I already have 3 songs. I recorded them 3 songs in like 2 days, bro. Yeah, in like 2 days. I started on Monday, I think, and yeah, yesterday I already had 3 songs, and I already had 3 songs. So I'm gonna try to make another one or 4 more, because I have like instrumentals from like the past, from like 90s, from 2000s, and I'm trying to make a EP off of that. It's like a mixtape basically. And when that's out, I'm gonna tell you. It's gonna be on what's that, Bandcamp, and YouTube, and SoundCloud. And you, by the way, you can follow me on SoundCloud too, just to get that. So subscribe, do all of that, and I wish you the best, and keep making them beats.